Hi everyone, here is the mobile case by Peak Design. And I've had a couple of these cases over the years, and I actually did a video on one not long ago, but I wanted to do an update because now that they've been around for a couple generations of phones, they've had some tweaks over the years that they've been out, and I wanted to just provide an update video. Now the first phone I had this for was the iPhone 12 mini. You can check out my review that I did for that one up in the corner. This one is for the iPhone 13 mini. And I also had one of these for my 14 Pro, which I sold, which was slightly different. I'll talk about nuances as I go. But basically, the design language is still the same that it has been all along. You have this fabric texture. It's almost like a denim. They say it's like a recycled material. It's really the same as their bags if you've had any of their backpacks. It's the same kind of material there. Just real nice quality. I prefer that texture over like a plastic or a rubber. Now, I don't know if I prefer it more than leather, but it is still nice and it's minimal. You still have this little locking mechanism ring in here. So that works with the bike locks, the mounts. There's still a magnet. You can actually kind of see the outline of the magnet in the case itself, and it begins to show more over time as you use the case, and it rubs off onto things if you have things like the wallet, which you can watch a review of up in the corner as well. So the ring there is still in the middle. I don't even know what you'd call it, the locking plate. And actually when I got this unit, there was a slight defect in the corner here, and it's still there a little bit, but it's supposed to sit flush with the case. And you can't see it, but you can definitely feel it. Like that's right where your hand is naturally gonna rest. There's like a little lip there. So Peak Design, with their great warranty that they have against manufacturer defects, I submitted a video and sent them the issue I was having with it, and they sent me a brand new case. So that's actually the one that my wife's using. I mean, it's not horrible, it's still usable, but it's still kind of a disappointment that, you know, on a $40 case that you get something like that. So I don't know, they sent me a new one. My wife's using it. It's all good in the hood. But yeah, this case retails for $40 on Peak Design's website, which is honestly not bad. I think it's priced fairly well considering the ecosystem that you're able to buy into, the protection that it offers, the style, and just the comfort and convenience. I think it's fantastic. It's a good bargain, better than other cases at $40, that's for sure. This is the 12 mini case and the 13 mini case. They updated the fabric just a little bit on the 13 mini series. I don't even know how to describe it, but you can kind of see there's like it's like a lighter pattern to it. There's more like horizontal lines in the 13 as opposed to the 12 just being more of a muted color all throughout. And then the 13 mini, that locking ring seems a little bit shinier. Again though, this has more use. This has seen more use over the last couple of years, so there's a little more wear. I'm sure that's part of it. But the camera bump on the 12 case is completely flush because it was a smaller camera module. And now that I think about it, this is kind of the same deal. This has kind of the same kind of lip as this one does. I wonder if it's just a manufacturer defect that's like in all the cases. Weird. But anyway, that's what I loved about the 12 mini is because it was completely flat. This is a super strong magnet. I could magnetize my phone to my toolbox, to my fridge, and it was sweet. And I was worried about that coming to the mini, or the 13 mini, because of this little camera bump. If my camera would focus, holy cow. Here, let me move that out of the way. That's why. And now it still magnetizes just fine, even with that bump. So it's a little less magnetic than the 12 series, but it still adheres just fine. Just the bump pushes it away a little bit. And then another notable difference between the 12 and the 13 series is it seems a little more rounded on the edges, as opposed to the 12 really took from that squared off boxy design language of the iPhone, and it kind of is more rounded on the 13. And again, I'm sorry, this camera is just not showing it well. They're sticking together. It definitely feels a little beefier and thicker, the rubber does on the 13, but it just feels a little more rounded around the edges. And the buttons suffer as a result of that. I'd say that's probably the biggest downside in these cases, and that was my initial complaint with the 12, hoping that it would get better, but it doesn't seem to have been fixed in the 13. It was fixed in the 14 when I had the 14 Pro, but for the 13, the buttons just feel a little stiff, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Now when the phone is in the case, specifically the power button, it's like there's a little click to it, but it doesn't move a whole lot. It almost feels like a haptic button, and it's just a little stiff, and it's a little inconsistent. Sometimes it will press nicely, sometimes it won't. I often have to kind of like lift up the edge of the case there to like get it to sit right on the button. But that one we'll give it some time and see what it does. I might have to work it a little bit. It seems to be a little better than when it was new, but still kind of a pain. The volume buttons do, screenshot. The volume buttons do pretty much the same thing, but they seem to be a little easier to like reset and get in the right spot. And then this cutout is just the right size to stick a finger in there and flip the switch. So no complaints on the cutout, but the buttons are lacking a little bit. That is, however, something I saw that was greatly improved in the 14 when I had the 14 Pro, and I don't have that case on me now. They seem to have fixed the buttons in the 14 I had. No issues as far as like clickiness and travel. It functioned exactly as you would hope that it would, but for whatever reason on this 13, it just doesn't function all that well. And you get used to it and you hope it wears a little more over time and breaks in, but not horrible, but also not great. And then on the bottom here, you still have these little eyelets for the Peak Design anchors. I put them in a time or two. I put them in my last review, and you can see that you can just connect them to things if you want, which is pretty cool. This case probably saw a good year to a year and a half of use. I ended up replacing it at one point. I think the old one that I had gotten like so filthy and grubby. I tend to get it a little bit dirtier than most, probably, if I go in the garage or if I have something greasy. Like, I do my best to wash them, but I think I just replaced it at one point. So this case has seen about a year of use, and overall it's not bad. It wears a little bit because it's fabric, but I mean, just like a regular leather or rubber case, you're gonna see patina and a wear over time. And then the 13 is, I'm expecting to see similar results. But overall, not bad at all. I've used Apple's leather cases in between using these, and I still come back to this one every time because it's just such a good, versatile case. It offers good protection, it's slim, it feels good in the hand, it's nice and grippy. It has this magnetic system to like slap onto the fridge. I can put it on my bike mount, put it on a motorcycle, on the mini bike if I'm going trail riding or something. Like, it's so versatile. It's just the case I want to leave on it all the time, and because of that, it's awesome. So I would highly recommend it. Holds up real well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you subscribing. Please like, comment, share the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.